Today we're going to do two lessons, 98 and 99. So you'll do the evens on 98 and the odds on 99. I'll do the videos separately for the lessons, but just so you'll know that's what the assignment will be. So on page 560, we start out with this problem. It says find log base 5 of 15. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to let that be equal to x. And now we can write the exponential form of this logarithmic equation because remember 5 is the base. It's this to this equals this. So 5 to the x is the exponent because it says the logarithm equals x, and logarithms are exponents, is equal to 15. Okay, now we've done this part in the past where we take the log of both sides, or you could take the natural log of both sides. It doesn't matter which. And if you look on page 561, you'll see they showed both ways and show you that you do get the same answer either way. I'm just going to write log of 5 to the x equals log of 15. Remember, this x up here is an exponent, which means it's being multiplied times the log of 5. So then to get x by itself, we divide both sides by log of 5. Now if you put that in the calculator, log 15 close the parentheses, divided by log 5, you get that right there. Okay, so then x equals 1.68. All right, let's do another one like that. 98.2 says log base 7 of 82. So we set it equal to x. And we write the exponential form, which is 7 raised to the x equals 82. And then this time I'll take the natural log, just to be different. It would be x natural log of 7 equals natural log of 82. And then divide both sides by ln of 7. Let's see what we get. ln 82, close the parentheses, divided by ln of 7, close the parentheses. And hit enter. So we get 2.26. Okay. Equals 2.26. All right. Now then, let's try something a little bit different, still using logarithms. On page 562, we have this problem. It says log of x squared equals the quantity log of x squared. I'm going to work this problem two ways to show you that there are two ways to do it, but I'm going to encourage you to use the second method because using the first one, it would be really easy to lose a solution. So what I'll do is begin by writing this as 2 log of x is equal to log of x quantity squared. And you know at this point that we could divide both sides by log of x and cancel it out. Right? So you would end up with 2 equals the log of x, which then you could write this in exponential form. Remember, there's an understood 10. So this would be 10 to the 2 is equal to x, or x is equal to 100. The problem is, when we divided by this log of x, we actually lost a solution by doing that. So you have to go back and also set that solution equal to 0 in order to get the other solution that we lost by dividing that factor out. So this would be 10 to the 0 is equal to x, or x is equal to 1. All right, so that's the first way that you can do it. The second way, which is the way that I encourage you to do it, is to go back and start at this point. So it would be 2 log of x is equal to log of x quantity squared. And I want to set this equal to 0 and solve it. So I'm actually going to move this over here. And at this point, I can factor out a log of x from both of them. So if I factor out log x, here I'll have log x left over, minus 2. And now you can see how we have two factors, which will give us two solutions. We haven't lost anything. So now I'll set log x equal to 0 and log x minus 2 equals 0. So this gives me x equals 10 to the 0, or x equals 1. And this, I said this will be log of x equals 2, which will be x equals 10 to the second, or x equals 100. So we get the two solutions without having to remember to go back and set what we divided by equal to 0 because of a lost solution. So this is the method. The second method is the one that I prefer that you use, but you can use either one. If you forget about the solution, I'm not going to give you partial credit. All right, so 98.4 has log of the square root of x is equal to the square root of log of x. Not the same thing at all, because this is actually log of x to the 1/2, and this is log of x to the 1/2. So if we square both sides of this equation, then we'll get this would be 1/2 log of x raised to the second power, and this just becomes log of x. And so this 1/2 squared becomes 1/4, and then log x squared equals log x. So now if we set it equal to 0, we want to keep the square term positive, so I'll just move everything this direction. So 1/4 times log of x, quantity squared, minus log of x would be equal to 0. And here we can factor out a log of x. So this will be 1/4 log of x minus 1 equals 0. So this gives me log of x is equal to 0, which will give me 10 to the 0 equals x, or x equals 1. Okay, so there's one solution. The other one's going to be 1/4 log x minus 1 equals 0, or 1/4 log x equals 1. And to get rid of the 1/4, we can multiply by 4 on both sides. So log of x will be equal to 4. Remember, there's an understood 10 here. So this will be x equals 10 to the 4th, which is x equals 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. All right. Got the two solutions, didn't lose anything, we're good. All right, 98.5. This one's a little bit different. It says log of x equals 3. That's not log x times log x. That's the log of log x. So the first thing we need to do is rewrite this in exponential form. So this would be 10 to the 3 is equal to log of x. So that's log of x is equal to 1,000. And now we rewrite it in exponential form again. So this is again an understood base of 10. So x will be equal to 10 to the 1,000, and you're just going to leave it like that because if you try to put it in your calculator, it's going to give you a nice, ugly error message because it's too big. That would be 1 with 1,000 zeros, and we're not going to write that out anyway. So we're done with that one. Okay, last example in this lesson on page 564, 98.6 is x raised to the square root of log of x is equal to 10 to the 8th. All right, we have a base of x, a base of 10. You know, if we take the log of both sides, at least we'll get rid of this 10. So let's try that. That would be log of x to the square root of log of x is equal to log of 10 to the 8th. So this cancels when you have 8 here. This is an exponent, so it's going to get multiplied out in the front. So square root of log of x times log of x is equal to 8. All right, so this is log of x to the 1/2 power, right? And this is log of x to the 1 power. So since they're both log of x's, we can multiply by adding the exponents. 1½ is 1½. So log x to the 3/2 would be equal to 8. And then if we raise both sides to the reciprocal power, that would be 2/3. Raise this side to the 2/3. These will cancel and we'll get log of x. And over here, that's the cube root of 8 squared. So the cube root of 8 is 2 squared would be 4. And here we have it. Remember, there's an understood 10. So x will be equal to 10 to the 4th, which is 1 with 4 zeros. All right, so that's it for lesson 98.